Hi students. In this video we're going to go over patterning. Patterning is the creation of repeated geometry. So you could have an XY pattern or you could have a circular pattern. Let's begin by creating a sketch the way we always do. I'm going to click on the front plane and say create sketch. Now I'm going to draw a rectangle and I'm going to fully define this rectangle. I'll say OK and accept it. I'll smart dimension from the edge, and I'm just going to accept these dimensions. So I have the location and space defined, as well as the length and width. Okay, I have a fully defined sketch. Now let's create some geometry that we want to create a repeating pattern of. So I'm just going to draw this rectangle and say OK. It's highlighted, so everything is selected. Now I'm going to choose linear sketch pattern. In the screen you can see there's this yellow outline. That's a preview of what's going to be created by the command. Over here in the dialog box we have the x-axis. That controls the spacing and the number of occurrences as well as the direction. So if I increase D1, you'll see that the new geometry that will be created is displaced in the x direction. I can also increase the number of occurrences. So that creates a single row of 4 instances. I can also angle it upward if I want. I don't use this one that often, but it is there if you need it. So your X patterning controls the rows. If I come down to direction 2 and the Y-axis, this controls your number of instances up and down. So it currently says I have 1 row that's going to be created. If I bump it up, you can see now I'm going to have 2 rows. Again, D2 controls the offset. So if I increase the offset, something interesting happens. You can see the instances start moving off the material. If you need to reverse that direction, you just choose reverse direction. And now I can put all my instances right on the background piece of material. And I'm just going to say OK to accept this. Now we need to find a way to constrain all of these instances. So let's go to Smart Dimension. First thing I'll do is I'm going to locate the first instance. I'm just going to accept the distance. Again, I could be typing in numbers if I chose to, but I'm going to just run with the default. Okay, so I have the first instance length and width defined. I have it located relative to the initial piece of material. Okay, not bad. Now I need to define the interval between the instances. So I'm going to go from the top of that instance to the top of the instance below. 0.8. Well, sure seems like I should have everything defined at this point. But Solidworks still says everything's undefined. So what's wrong? Well, one of the easiest ways to figure out what's undefined is to simply grab one of the lines, hold down the left mouse button, whoops, my bad, still in smart dimensioning, turn that off, grab one of the lines and try to drag it and see what happens. Oh, look at that. So it says that the interval between the instances is not smart dimensioned. Okay. Let's put in a smart dimension that will go between the two instances. Okay, not bad. Still underdefined though. And now we have a fully defined sketch. So I would encourage you, whenever you're struggling to get the last bits of definition, just grab the lines and start moving them around. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's exit the sketch. And we can extrude that into a solid object. And there you go. So let's say I want to change the number of occurrences, or the number of pattern instances. We can still do that. We'll come over to the part manager. We'll edit the sketch. I'm going to come and right click on one of these lines. I'll go down to edit linear pattern. And if I decide that I only want 3 rows in the X, or 3 columns in the X, 3 in the Y, I'll say OK. Automatically updates. I'll exit the sketch. And now I have a 3x3 pattern. So the next video clip will do rotational patterns. So that will be things like bolt holes. Thanks for watching.